I happened while the vote was to be being made. I was listening to Chris Van Hollen, the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, speaking on national public radio, who was basically saying we're going to use this issue against the Republicans in the fall. Now, then I went and took a look at the vote and then talked to some members. Now, when you've got a big issue like this, we've been through a number of them. The pit of the House in a big, important, vital vote like this is an emotional place as people contemplate literally whether or not they're going to end their political futures by their vote. And so you've got Republicans there who are being asked to vote for this, and they're looking around and they're hearing Chris Van Hollen. Literally, there are 16 vulnerable House Democrat freshmen who are allowed to vote no. And they're being told on the floor by Van Hollen and others, you can vote no against this. There are 5 committee chairs who owe their positions to Nancy Pelosi. John Conyers, chairman of Judiciary. Colin Peterson, chairman of Agriculture. Phil Nur, head of Veterans. Benny Thompson of Mississippi, head of Homeland Security. Gene Green, head of the Ethics Commission. And those 5 committee chairs are voting no. You have senior Democrats like Solomon Ortiz, Pete Stark, the number 2 guy on the Ways and Means Committee, Fazio of Oregon, Clay of Missouri, Costello of Illinois, Jesse, all of whom are close to the Speaker, and they're voting no. You have some of her close friends and allies, like the Sanchez sisters from California, and Lynn Woolsey and Herseth Sandlin from South Dakota, and Barbara Lee, close allies and friends of the Speaker, voting no. And the Republicans are sitting on the floor, seeing her take a 2x4 to them, and then let these people who are her allies and supporters and friends and committee chairs and members of her leadership vote no. I mean, what was the Speaker thinking?
In addition to the ones that you listed, you couldn't have listed 94. 94 Democrats voted no. If Barney Frank was going to go apply his special charm to 12 recalcitrant Republicans, why couldn't he apply that charm to 12 Democrats?
Well, one of them is a subcommittee chair of his committee, Serrano of New York, votes no. He's a subcommittee chairman on the Banking Committee in the House. Look, I've been through these votes. I've seen an effective speaker in Denny Hastert assiduously work his leadership and make it clear that there are sometimes the responsibility of leadership is to cast a tough vote. And to me, start with the 5 committee chairs. Every one of them owes their position to Nancy Pelosi. You can't tell me she could not have brought them in and said, I made you the chairman of the Agriculture Committee, Colin Peterson. I backed you up when you brought your farm bill to the floor. Now it is time for you to do the right thing for America and vote for this. That's 5. Then you talk about subcommittee chairs or close personal friends, or look, the vulnerable House Democrats. I mean, can you imagine what sign it sends when vulnerable House Democrats are being told, look, we're in the majority, but you don't have a responsibility to cast a tough vote. Go vote no.
What could Barack Obama have done to wrestle some Democrats into the yes column?
Well, first of all, he could have talked to Bobby Rush and Jesse Jackson Jr., both from South Side of Chicago and his neighbors, who voted no. He could have talked to Lipinski of Chicago, who voted no. He could have. Where did he weigh in? Look at one of his strong supporters, Congresswoman Jackson Lee of Texas, voted no. Jefferson of Louisiana voted no. Kilpatrick of Michigan voted no. I mean, where was he on this? Gifford of Arizona, Mitchell of Arizona, Walls of Minnesota, sort of his contemporaries. Where were they? They're voting no. I mean,
you sound as disgusted as I do.
I am shocked. And think about this. There are 26 congressmen not running for re-election. Most of them were Republicans. 23 of them voted for the bill. 3 of them voted against. And of the 3 who voted against it who are leaving the House, 2 of them were Democrats, Udall of Colorado and Udall of New Mexico, who are running for the United States Senate.
Karl Rove. Karl, thanks for your analysis. Appreciate you taking time.
John Gibson of Fixed News, today's worst person in the world.
Always striving to be the worst to bathtub boy.
You should crawl off into a hole and die.
But the best to you. John Gibson on Fox News Talk.